What's up, nerds? Welcome to the DNA Podcast, episode 26. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, Brian Anderson. Brian, we are champions.
We are champions. That's right. I finally knows what it feels like to root for a winning team.
I know.
It's weird.
It's great. It's amazing.
Still doesn't feel real.
I know.
I know there's a lot of people out there hating, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah. If you don't know, Cavs won the NBA Finals.
We've waited a long time.
Yeah.
Us, not as long as a lot of other people around
not as
here,
long as,
so.
my dad.
Yeah, my dad and the patients that I take care of at work, they were all very emotional about it. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
A lot of them were alive in the last time that we won a championship.
Yeah.
Back in
64.
64, I believe. When we had the best running back in the game, Jim Brown.
It's true.
Now we have the best basketball player in the world in the game, LeBron James.
Also true.
So.
Yeah, I got home from work late that day. We were gonna come over, but then I got home from work real late, and it was the third quarter when I got home, and we were watching it, and then they tied the game, and then Kyrie Irving hit that three.
Well, I mean, the whole sequence where LeBron blocked it,
Mm-hmm.
Which was a great block. Kyrie comes down, hits an amazing three.
And
up, and then LeBron seals it with that final free throw.
I know.
And feels good to win.
I grabbed Tom's leg. I was like, "We're gonna win. We're gonna win."
I didn't feel good until I saw all zeros on the clock, but and it felt good to beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors are a bunch of little bitches.
I'm really tired of seeing Steph Curry's mouthpiece. Just saying.
Unanimous MVP, right?
Yeah.
He did win that award, right? What was
did.
his stat line in that final? I think he had 14 points or something like that.
Yeah, he was underperformed.
He got outplayed by at least four other people on that court. Two from I think Klay Thompson outplayed him. Draymond Green outplayed him.
Oh yeah, Draymond Green had a monster game.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to pick your poison with that
Especially
team.
that first half, though.
Well, a lot of wide open threes, but that's who I'd let shoot the ball. I'm not saying.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah.
I don't like him, but he's great. He's a very good player. I think he's the most important player on that Warriors team. But our guys showed up. LeBron, Kyrie, fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of praise.
Yeah.
A lot of happy people around here.
A lot of happy people. The parade, though. They were expecting 800,000.
1.3 million people showed up, so I think we showed the rest of the world how you celebrate a winning team.
Yeah, that was cool. And tomorrow night is the Akron celebration for LeBron.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah. Can't wait to drive home tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, if you didn't know, this is the official podcast of the DNA Network. You can find this and all of our shows on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, as well as the video versions on YouTube and our website at digitalnerdadvocates.com. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Check out our Facebook communities, like the Digital Nerd Advocates on Facebook as well. Follow us on Twitter at the DNA Network. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. And with that said, we're going to have a shorter show today.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a busy week, busy day. We started the new community show that started this week. There's a bunch of things going on, but and it's after E3. There's not really much to talk about after we talked about everything last week.
Right.
But we do have a lot of backup mail, and a lot of things people were asking us about are these new consoles.
I figured
these new iterative consoles, which we didn't really talk about at all last week.
I don't even want to talk about them today. I feel the same way a lot of these people do about the questions. So
yeah. So for you guys that don't know, Xbox announced the Xbox One S, which is their slim, and they also announced Project Scorpio, which is a lot of people think it's the next Xbox. Some people think it's just a
kind of like the PlayStation,
higher powered Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Neo is rumored to be coming out this year, and also a big rumor the Nintendo NX is being delayed out of March to compete with these consoles in terms of power. So a lot of people want to know, is it worth buying a console now, and do we feel gypped? Mitch asks, I just bought an Xbox One before E3, Now listening to I now I listen to you guys regularly because you seem like the type of gamers I am. I'm not on top of all the gaming news because I travel a lot and I just can't. With Xbox's announcement of a Slim this fall with a bigger hard drive and a more powerful box next year, I feel a little ripped by buying this now. Part of me wishes I would have waited, but I want to play Destiny and Doom and stuff like that because of your guys' high praise. I mean,
Is the question, should he feel gypped?
yeah.
Should he feel ripped? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Project Scorpio and Neo, that might be trying to, because 4K is becoming a big thing, and
Right.
I don't know if it's gonna last. 3D game. I thought 3D TVs and 3D gaming were supposed to be like the next
big thing.
and that didn't work out. So I don't know if 4K is just gonna be a phase.
See, I think 4K is like similar to 720p to 1080p this generation from last generation. I think it's just a natural progression of where consoles are going. The big thing is these consoles are trying to be VR ready, which is
That's what So basically, I'm thinking that's why they're coming out with these.
right.
So Mitch, if you're if you're a guy that's going to spend the money on the VR, then yeah, you should probably be pretty mad because I don't think our consoles that we have are really going to be.
They're not.
They're not for VR, but that doesn't bother me.
I mean, the
'cause
PlayStation VR comes with an extra processing box.
I'm not getting into the whole VR craze.
No, I'm not either.
Not right away.
I think
anyways.
it's dumb. It's going
By
to
the
be just
time-
like motion controls. It's going to be just
by
like
the
3D.
time, I'm going to give it year, 2 years. I don't know how long. I don't know if that's the way that I want to play games. The way that I want to play games is the way that I've been playing games since I was a little fucking kid. I want to sit on my couch with a controller in my hands, and I don't want things on my face. I don't want to feel like that's just me personally. That's my opinion.
Like, this is the same thing that happened with motion controls, right?
They were cool for a little bit.
The Wii started it, which, I mean, Wii bowling was amazing. Like, that was fun when you got a big group of people together.
And
and then
PlayStation and
PlayStation
Xbox,
started it, Xbox started it.
and neither one did well.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
They tried to pack the Kinect in the freaking box this time, and nobody cared. Like, that's why PS4 is winning to this day. I guarantee you that is why PlayStation 4 is winning. It's because Xbox tried to pack the Kinect in the box, and that made the console $200 more expensive.
Mm-hmm. And it's not worth it. Like, you know what I use because I got an Xbox when it came out. You know what I use my Kinect for?
To watch TV?
To change the fucking channel when I'm lazy. And it don't even work all the time, so I usually still end up using the remote. But I don't think you should feel gypped or ripped off if you're the type of gamer that me and Corey are. We're not going to throw down this crazy amount of money on VR and a system that's going to play these VR games. If you have the money to do that, that's awesome, and I would do it. But if you're not planning on joining the VR craze right away, I think you shouldn't be pissed.
Like I told you,
the Xbox and the PlayStation right now are still great consoles. It's
right.
not like they're bad.
Here's the thing. Like last generation, like Xbox 360 had 3 versions,
Yeah,
and like we knew a slim version was coming, and like it's the same price as the.
Yeah, I'm cool with the slim.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm gonna end up getting a slim.
The box is too big, and like it does need a bigger hard drive, because I think digital games have really. That's become a very popular thing too. So a lot of people aren't buying the hard copies anymore, or as many people.
Because like even if you get the hard copy, you still have to install it on the hard drive. So like there's no really point in getting the hard copy.
I understand the slim, and I think that's a great move by Xbox.
Right, and it's a beautiful box.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get a slim when it comes out. I'm gonna get the 2 terabyte one.
I probably won't.
Well, I mean, like
I'll just wait for if one of these goes dead, I'll go. But no, I mean, there's so many good games out right now. That, and like you said, you wanted to play Destiny, Doom. I mean, we could go off the list of the games that we enjoy playing right now. So I do not think you should. I mean, I think that's what a lot of these questions are going to. It seems like that's what a lot of these people will feel like, that they feel screwed that they just bought one and they're coming out with a new system. But
yeah, and Garrett asks, I got a PS4 at launch, and I feel like Sony is screwing me by releasing a better box this year. Am I wrong to feel that way? Here's the thing. How old is the PS4? 3 years?
I'm not going to tell him he's wrong, though. I mean, you can feel how you want to feel. Like, when I first heard the news, I was like, oh, man, that's kind of bullshit. Like, these systems are supposed to last us 10-plus years. So that's where he's coming from, I think, where, you know, because these aren't cheap things that we're buying. They're expensive toys, really, at the end of the day. And when you're putting down $400, I don't know. When I got them, they were.
Yeah, my PlayStation was.
He got it at launch, so
it was $400.
Yeah, you put
right?
down $400. You think that $400 is going to last you
plus
7, 8, 9
if you
years.
buy 2 or 3 games, that's almost $600.
Yeah, I mean you're putting out $600 because you're not just buying the PlayStation without any games. So you're putting out like $600.
Although Resogun was a great game, that free game, the first.
That was a big shocker. So I'm not going to sit here and say that you should feel wrong, but you know, I'm probably not going to get a PlayStation Neo.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to get a Neo.
I don't think that they're going to put out games on the Neo that you're not going to be able to play on the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, both companies are saying that, like they're not leaving the other boxes behind. They're just getting these parts to create a better performing box. Which,
I think this Neo is more for like 4K and VR.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, that's exactly.
I don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I don't have VR.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know. I went and bought a new TV. I don't know when I got that TV out there.
What, like 6 months ago?
No,
a year ago?
No, I got it probably in January. Oh yeah, 6. Okay, so got about 6 months ago, and I had the option to buy a 4K TV, and decided not to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if 4K is gonna be what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting a 4K TV just to play video games in 4K.
Right.
I don't know. There's no channels right now that are in 4K.
There's no channels in 1080p except for HBO.
That's what So I mean, in my opinion, when I first heard the news, I was pissed. Maybe there's more to this because I haven't really looked into it much because I don't really give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's more that they do more other shit. You know, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm happy with my systems. Like I said, I'm not doing the VR crap. At least not for a while. I need to see if it's going to take off and be around for a while because it's going to be pretty expensive, Craig.
Right. Well, they haven't announced prices yet, but to get a box VR ready and stream and play 4K games.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That's basically what these new systems are for, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason why you would upgrade a box, except for the fact that developers can now use the extra power to create.
And again,
games.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no point in getting this if you don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
So,
I mean but even then, like the Xbox Slim that's coming out has a 4K Blu-ray player in it, and it's going to be $300 to $400 depending on hard drive space you want.
Again, though, you still got to have that 4K TV.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
not that they're like, they're not like crazy.
Yeah, they're not that expensive anymore. But like, if you're like you and me, like I bought a nice TV like 3 years ago. Like I'm not gonna go out and buy a 4K TV when I'm perfectly fine with my 1080p TV at home.
So I think these consoles. I think this stuff's coming out for the people that because they need VR to work. I'm pretty sure they've put a lot of money into VR.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's no point in doing that with a console that isn't gonna make it look and run as smoothly as possible.
And like I still don't think VR is gonna take off in the game space like everybody thinks.
I don't think VR is gonna be as crazy. I don't know. I remember as a kid I always wanted like virtual reality. Like I felt like that would have been sweet, but I just don't want to come home and I don't think it's where like people think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I still think it's gonna be more for like.
I think it's gonna be cheesy.
Medical, like medical assistance, like the Kinect was. Like a lot of people were using it in like the medical field or like physical therapy, or it's gonna be more for like training simulations and stuff than like.
I don't know. I don't think the hardcore gamers or like competitive gamers are gonna like. You're not gonna see people playing Counter-Strike through VR in like tournaments.
Like, and the only big game announced for VR right now is Resident Evil 7. And like, okay.
I just remember when like the Wii came out and the Red Steel. What was that game called? Red Steel.
Yeah, the sword fighting game.
You like in your mind. I remember going over to play it at your house, and like what I imagined
because I'm the dumbass that bought it on day one.
I just imagined what it was gonna be like, and then I get there and I'm playing this, and I'm like, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This is not at all what I built up in my head, and I just wonder if VR is gonna be that.
Yeah, and like. The Wii never fulfilled any of the promises they made with motion controls. It was like, what's the best motion control game you played on the Wii?
Wii Sports.
Wii Sports. Launch title. Guess what? We aren't using motion controls anymore. No. And I still that VR is going to go the way of motion control.
I kind of agree. I mean, we could very well be proven wrong.
Like 4K, I can see consoles doing 4K.
I think
like
4K will, I mean, anytime you can sharpen up the graphics, I can get on board with that. But anytime you start doing stuff like VR and it changes the way that you play, I don't want to stand up when I play games.
And like,
do you not have to stay? No, you don't have to stand up. You can sit.
You can sit. It depends on what headset you have too, though, because the Vive has like room tracking, and Oculus is like going to get room tracking.
Why do you think like the Kinect and stuff didn't work with like gamers?
Because we're lazy and don't want to stand up and walk around and do stuff. Is that how you want
to play a game? I don't want to feel like I'm exercising. If I want to exercise, I'll go exercise. When I want to play a game, I want to sit on my ass, put my feet up, and I don't want to. I play games.
Plus, if you're in VR and you're standing up, walking around, you gotta have the spatial awareness outside the helmet, plus the spatial awareness inside the helmet. Plus, you got to worry about all these cords dangling off the back of your head that you're gonna trip over.
I'm not an expert in VR. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't. Maybe you can sit there and play. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there's games like that where you can. Like, I'm sure Resident Evil 7, you can sit down perfectly and play the game with a controller.
Yes, you can, I'm sure. But I don't know.
I just
think it's a thing like, just like motion controls and the Kinect. And
I won't.
You think like, oh, I'm going to play Star Wars Kinect. That sounds cool. No, it's not cool.
Yeah. And like,
the exercising game, if like there was an actual like Zumba or I don't know what it was. There was an actual exercising game. Mm-hmm. Like that's cool because then you're wanting to exercise.
Right. And like Dance Central was
and
okay.
I think that probably helps some people out there, and that's great. Anytime you can do that, but I'm a lazy motherfucker, and that's not how. I don't want to sweat. Yeah. I sweat enough already playing certain games. I'm already sweating. Playing trials and shit.
It's true. I just like. I don't know why they're iterating on these boxes so soon, and then like the next generation is going to come out 4 years later. Yeah. Do you think these consoles are going to go the phone route now? Because that's another big question we got a lot of. Because like,
you mean like a freaking new one every like year?
I mean, maybe not that soon, but like every 2 or 3 years.
Because phones aren't
like say Project Scorpio is like, what if they just call it the Xbox? What if they just call it the Xbox, and every like 2 or 3 years they add a little bit more power to the next one?
We had Xbox One. That was like the first iPhone was just called iPhone. And
right.
It was iPhone 2. Then we had Xbox One already, so no, I don't think they'll do that because I don't think you can put something out like that quickly. I mean, and at a certain point, with phones, it seems like this what is this? Is this I don't even know which one this is. The difference between this one and the last one, which was like a 5, is this?
It's negligible. Yeah, you have a 6.
I don't even know the difference. Like
you have a 6 Plus.
Right. The only reason like you get it is because you have that. Oh, I get it. I have an upgrade. I'm gonna go get one, and it's not
right.
Like,
I had an iPhone before I got this. I had an iPhone 4 for 4 years, and it worked perfectly fine until I got this one.
My screen is bigger.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So like you can't do that with the console. Like every year or every however long they come out with these, there's not enough things that you could improve where people would buy one like they do phones, and you wouldn't make any money. So that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope they don't do that. I honestly hope they do not do that.
Like so that PS4 came out what? You said 3 years ago?
3.5 years ago.
Okay, so 3.5 years ago they come out with that. A year after that came out, what could have been different? Not a whole lot.
No. There
couldn't have been too many improvements. So no, I don't think the phone thing will ever happen with consoles because you can't improve it.
I still think I think these companies are doing this to please the developers instead of pleasing the gamers. Because like the developers are the ones asking for more power so they can try VR stuff, and like the only way you can do VR right now is through. I mean, PlayStation has their VR, but the only way you can do it is through Oculus or Vive if you want a decent VR experience.
I mean, people will buy these consoles.
Oh yeah, they will for sure.
But if you already have one, I don't think you're gonna. I think the only people who are gonna be buying these are the ones who have not already entered this generation of gaming.
Yeah.
And most everybody I know who plays games has already entered this generation. So.
Yeah, and like the one thing I just thought of, it makes even less sense for Xbox to do this because they have the Play Xbox Anywhere program, which like if you buy your Xbox games digitally from here on out, it's also available to you for free on Windows 10 PC. And like what good does it do for Microsoft to release a new box when for almost the same price you can build a VR ready PC?
Yeah, that does make sense.
So like
I don't know. It's interesting. I get where these guys are coming from asking if they should be upset, but if you have the money to like get the VR and all that stuff, like the day it comes out,
until they have like
I don't know
which these companies already said they're not leaving any box behind with these new boxes. So like until they come out with that PlayStation Neo exclusive game or that Xbox Scorpio exclusive game,
and I don't.
This really isn't going to affect you unless you need to play games in 4K or you need to play VR on your console. Like bottom line, I think that's what we're both getting at.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna get an Xbox Slim because when Gears of War comes out, it's gonna be easier for me to transport the box, and like it's a nicer looking box, and I want more hard drive space.
I'm very much considering it. If there's like a trade-in program, I would probably look into it because that box is just bulky. But other than that, like I don't feel the need to like.
Yeah, and like I was at GameStop yesterday, which I'm gonna tell the story before we get into our next topic, and they said that they are going to take trade-in offers for like I think if you have a 500 gig it's like $175 towards a Slim and like if you have a 1 terabyte it's like $200 towards a Slim.
Of course I'm sitting here saying this right now, and when that new 3DS came out, I did buy that and I had a 3DS, so it's easy to sit here and say it right now, but we'll see what happens when they come out.
We forget. Nintendo's already done this.
Nintendo has done this.
And
they made one game. They had one game that you couldn't play on the old. That was it, and it was.
Okay. Maybe Majora's Mask and Monster Hunter and Hyrule Warriors play better on it.
Better.
But with that,
because they added parts that change how you play the game.
Right.
The controllers will probably be the same. So.
Yeah. So. I don't know.
I said, it's hard to say right now. I don't know enough about these. Haven't seen anything like this is what it's going to look like. And so it's tough to say because, I did go buy a new 3DS.
Yeah. Man,
the 3D was way better, though. I will tell you that. Not that I play in 3D anyways because it makes my head hurt. But I did go buy one.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm full of shit.
I already am going to get an Xbox Slim. Like I have already made up my mind. But like... in terms of Scorpio and Neo, I'm going to wait.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah.
I won't like the only good thing I'd say to guys is like you have a next generation console, so it's not like you're going to
look at a game like Uncharted and The Order, like those games already look great on these consoles.
You could probably wait a little bit. Let the prices come down on these if it's that amazing and 4K does take off and 4K TVs drop.
Yeah,
I could see myself then. I don't want to say that I'm never going to purchase these consoles.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't need them the day.
Not day one.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think we should just leave it there. I've talked enough about these new consoles that without really knowing enough about them.
Yeah. I have a story to tell you before we get into this next topic. I meant to start the show with this. Yesterday, I went to GameStop. My iPad was dying.
My iPad has been dead for like a year.
So like, and it's a first gen iPad Mini.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah. So like the tech in it is like 8 years old, right?
Can't you like turn those in and like get money?
I did. I took it to GameStop.
Oh yeah. I guess that is what you did.
They're like, okay, we'll give you $100 for this. And I took a couple other things in that I'm like trying to clean clean out. I'm trying to go some digital, and I'm trying to get rid of stuff that I don't need. So I took stuff in. Go in. He's like, okay, this iPad and these little amiibo and these games, $150. I was like, okay, that's about what I expected, and I needed to renew my Xbox Live subscription and my PlayStation subscription, so I ended up doing that. Oh,
My PlayStation just like does it raw automatically.
oh, you're a pro member? Well, you get 20% extra trade-in credit. Oh, and we're running a promotion, so you get 50% extra credit for all this. Oh, by the way, we're running a buy two get one this week.
Should have called me.
My credit, $480 worth of credit.
That's why you bought so much shit. I wonder why you bought so much. You come over and like, I got 3 new games. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I bought a year subscription to Xbox, PlayStation, King Dedede amiibo, which I've been looking for forever. I bought Metal Gear, finally, Dark Souls 2 and 3, and I ended up pre-ordering Horizon.
I know you're very excited.
Paid it off. Zelda paid it off. Gears of War paid it off.
Wow.
Didn't spend a dime.
That's pretty
And I still have $100 in GameStop credit towards that Xbox Slim.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That sounds like a win. That sounds like a pretty good day.
It was
it's
a
pretty
win.
cool when you go in and stuff like that's going on. And,
Yeah, and like I wasn't even aware. I was just like, this thing's dying. I need to get rid of it before it's like
before it does what mine does and you can't turn it back on.
right.
But I can still, like, if I take mine up to Apple, I can do like a deal where if I trade it in, because mine's an Air. I have an iPad Air.
Mm-hmm.
I can trade it in towards an iPad Air, and I get like $200, $300. And mine's like dead. Like,
Yeah.
it won't even turn on. So.
Yeah, you should probably do that soon.
I don't know. Mine died before Christmas. So It's been dead
Because
since,
I think those will probably go on sale soon because of the new ones coming out in the fall.
There are already new ones out. Like there's like I have like the iPad Air. There's an iPad 2 or iPad Air 2 out, and then they have like the giant fucking one. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, are you gonna get the giant one?
I thought about it. Honestly,
It'd be
did.
cool sitting there with your Ishtar Commander app open, dragging stuff across this giant screen.
I
Be
mean,
like,
I am
"Ugh."
actually considering buying like the giant fucking size one.
But anyways, we're going to move into our second topic. This is going to be the last topic of the show. Like I said before, we had a busy day, busy week, a lot of shows to get through. So some people emailed me after E3.
See that?
Are there too many zombie games? Now, let me read these questions.
No,
first.
wait. Can I just go on this right now?
Yeah. Rant away.
Are there too many zombie games? Are there too many racing games? Are there too many shooting games?
Yes.
Are there too many Assassin's Creed games? At least
Yes.
these are zombie games that are different.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's the point I wanted. That's the point I wanted to
I'm
bring
a zombie lover. I love zombie games.
Right.
I love them.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I've bought all of them, but I have bought almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have bought the Left 4 Deads and the Dead Islands and the Resident Evils and the
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising and I don't know what everyone, but you know what I mean, like
Outlast.
Outlast. I've gotten. I can't even think of all the zombie games because I basically own them.
Yeah.
That's something that I like, and they are different. There's different storyline. There are different, ways to play them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before you continue your rant, let me list the games that were announced at E3. State of Decay 2.
Yeah, which I heard people weren't really happy with.
Dead Rising 4. Resident Evil 7. Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one other one, I forget. I forget what the other one was. But let's look at these games. State of Decay is all about survival.
Yeah.
Dead Rising is about killing as many zombies in the coolest fashion possible. Days Gone isn't even really about the zombies. It's about a bounty hunter who runs into these zombies. Right. Resident Evil is more of a, I'm going to scare the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with jump scares and maybe some zombies.
Right.
So, as much as I agree, there are a lot of zombie games coming out.
There are, yeah.
Which a lot of that I still... Oh, The Walking Dead Season 3. Which is a story-based game.
Which is a completely different... I mean, yes, but there's a lot of zombie movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they all do something different. Like,
I mean, but you could say this about every. I mean, how often is there a game that comes out that you're just like, this is like so one of a kind? No one's ever thought of anything like this. Games usually take stuff from other games, but like racing games, you think there's not a lot of those? Just shooters in general, like they come up with like Overwatch and stuff, but Battlefield, another Battlefield. You're not gonna get a Call of Duty.
Yeah, Halo, like
the Halos, like those are all the same
they're
thing.
all iterative
but
on
they're
each other.
different, just like how these zombie games are different. Like Halo and Call of Duty, same but different.
Yeah,
right?
I mean they're both first-person shooters.
Even
but
Gears of War is different because some of these zombie games are first-person, some of them are third-person.
Mm-hmm.
Gears of War, it's a shooting game where you're shooting stuff, similar, different.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, the difference between like let's look at the games coming out this year. Battlefield and Call of Duty are the two major ones coming out this year, and Titanfall and Gears of War. Let's look how different these are. Battlefield is going back in time. Mm-hmm. These big epic set pieces set in World War One. Titanfall is all about giant robots destroying each other. Call of Duty. I mean, it's been the same for the last couple of years with the exosuits and whatever. It's just this year we're going to space. And then Gears of War is a cover-based shooter, but you're still shooting stuff. So like, they're all doing different things. We had a question. Alex asks, it really looks like there are too many zombie games coming out. There were 6 alone this E3. Are devs running out of ideas? I don't think they're running out of ideas. I think they're trying to give us something new within that playground.
I don't know. Are devs running out of ideas when they're on a Forza 6 and a Gears of War 4 and a God of War? I mean, even though it's titled God of War 4, how many God of War games? I mean, counting like PSP and like, there's been 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 7th one, right?
So,
there's God of War 1, 2, 3, Ascension, the 2 PSP games, and now this new one, which looks like they're doing something different with it.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about what they're doing, and I understand where because that was a lot of zombie games. I think this is getting brought up because there were so many zombie games at E3, which was kind of a turnoff because it's kind of like, all right, man. I think it would have been better if they would have shown like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but they're all showing at different conferences too.
Right. And like I said, I am a big zombie fan, and there's still a lot of other games coming out that are different, but I don't think they're running out of. I wouldn't call it running out of ideas. I think you're just trying to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Walking Dead is like let's look at it this way. Like Walking Dead is more popular than ever right now.
Yeah.
Like going into its 7th season, it's hitting its peak of popularity, especially because of the season finale of last year. Which
I'm just asking, and even though it's a movie route, most zombie movies are like scary and stuff. The Resident Evils, like the old Walking.
Well, Resident Evil's kind of turned into like a more of an action-y type thing.
You saw Zombieland, right?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was fine.
You didn't. I mean, but like, I actually really liked that movie because it was like a funny comedy.
Yeah, it was more like a comedy type of zombie movie, like Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead was like a perfect example. That's like a good one too, where it's a zombie movie and there's a lot of them, but
it's funny.
If you do it differently, it can still be enjoyable.
Yeah, and it all comes down to preference of game type too. Like, if you want to mow down some zombies, you can play Days Gone, which looks like that's what you're going to do in that game.
But that's why, like, Left 4 Dead
Rising.
Left 4 Dead was one of my favorite games of all time.
If you're looking for something scary, you're going to play Resident Evil.
Yeah,
like that's just how these zombie games are going to go.
I mean, every game that comes out, you don't have to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't buy Call of Duty every year. Based on Halo 5, I may not buy the next Halo. Like, because don't get me started on that again. Gears of War is always reliable for me. That game is great, except for Judgment.
Yeah.
But, these zombie games, like, there's the zombie games that look interesting. Like, Days Gone is probably the most interesting out of all those to me.
And that's probably the only one that I'll buy. Oh, and Dead Rising. I'm obsessed with Dead Rising just because that game is just all like, and I know we talked about it last week, where it's just all about different ways, and they're so entertaining to kill the zombies.
Right. They had like a Roman candle crossbow thing going on.
And what is the rating on games when you kill zombies?
What's the rating?
Yeah, I just thought of something. I'm gonna see if it's gonna go anywhere. What's the rating when you kill zombies on a video game? Do you know?
No.
Neither do I.
Like in terms of score, like how do they score?
Like TM, is it still mature?
Oh, it's M. I thought you meant like how do they rate on like a how good they are. I'm like, I don't know. It probably depends on the game.
They are. I didn't know if.
It's because they show body parts and gore. That's why.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. All the good games are rated M anyways nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
People want more violence.
Well, it's not even that. Like, there's even better storytelling in mature rated games because they're for adults. Like, look at The Last of Us. Yeah, it's a zombie game, but like, you're not gonna get a story like that in a T-rated game, except for maybe Uncharted. No. You know, but even that is still like not a Last of Us type story. The Last of Us was
so good. Yeah, but that didn't even really feel like a zombie game.
Right. Right. I mean, it's like. You know, as much as I still feel like the Walking Dead TV show does the same things over and over again, like, that's not really a show about zombies. It's about the relationships and about the survival in this universe.
It's not always about killing zombies.
Right.
Now, Dead Rising is.
Dead Rising is about killing zombies.
Resident Evil isn't so much about killing.
No, Resident Evil's the survival route. You have to survive, and it's the lack of resources, and what are you going to do in this world with the lack of resources when something happens?
There were a lot of zombie games at E3 though.
Now,
I really just think they're just trying to strike while the
yeah,
it's hot. And
I agree.
It's a very popular topic right now.
I mean, yeah, zombies have always been around.
They've always been around, and they've had movies about them for years and years and years, and they're still making them, and they're doing it different ways. And it's the same thing with games.
I don't think they're ever going to go away. I just think like the way we see zombies in pop culture now is like when we saw aliens when we were in grade school. Like, aliens were cool when we were in grade school, and then 10 years ago vampires were cool. Now we're back around to zombies. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just this cycle where these things are going to show up in pop culture.
And there have been a lot of vampire video games.
Yeah.
Especially back like when vampires were real popular.
Right. You look at Castlevania. You look at Blood Rain. They have even Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls touches on vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, and even Infamous did.
Yep.
Infamous had that. That was probably one of the better Infamous games. So
pop culture kind of dictates in a way the games,
right? And like if like you're tired of zombie games, like there's
a lot of other games out there.
Yeah, and you just vote with your wallet. Don't buy those games. Go buy something else. Like
they're gonna do well though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dead Rising is gonna do well, and I think Days Gone is gonna be a sleeper for Sony right now. I think it like.
That one's like, I don't know. We'll see.
The tech looks cool.
That's the one that I'm most excited for, but if it's not,
it's the most intriguing.
It's the most intriguing, yeah. It's not really like, I didn't think it was really the best game.
They didn't show very much about what the game's going to be about.
Much. No,
but like the extended, if you watch the extended gameplay demos of that game, like they show an open world.
Yeah, it's cool.
And like you can use the world to defeat these things. Like he placed some remote mines on this. The stack of logs, and like he blew the they started chasing him. He blew the mines, and they rolled down and smashed 50 of them. Like, that's cool. Or like you can blow up a building with a bunch of them in it. Or there's different ways to take out these zombies. It's kind of like, I don't know. It compares to Dead Rising in a way where there's different cool ways to kill these things while you're on missions.
But they're not like cartoonish.
Right. It's not like you're shooting plastic candy canes at these zombies.
Right.
But
that's fun too.
Yeah, and I just think like these different zombie games are for different people, and if you're really that into not buying a zombie game, like you can buy a different game like Horizon or Zelda or God of War.
They're not. I don't think they're not running out of ideas.
Yeah, I don't think they're running out of ideas. The last question we had, I think we kind of answered it already. Do you think
you
that
know
these
what?
devs?
I think a better way to answer that though is just I guess we did kind of say it, but they're gonna make games that they know for a fact are gonna at least get them money.
Right.
Money.
Right. They're gonna make their money back on this.
And that because
Mm-hmm.
the people who maybe I think there are people and it's a business at the end of the day.
Right. And like, not everybody is like us where we do like the research on these games and say like, oh well, this game looks fun. It's like Joe Schmo walks into Best Buy and is like, I like zombies. What are the zombie games? And he goes looking and he picks up Dead Rising. He's like, oh, this looks like a fun game. And then like he'll pick up Resident Evil because Resident Evil is a big name in gaming. Like,
That's
It's-
very different games too.
I know, but like if he's looking for a zombie game,
I know, and that's what I'm just saying. There's just so many different ways to play that.
yeah.
Just like there's so many different, like I like shooting games. Oh well, buddy, you got to be more.
So you know what
specific.
zombie games for you? Resident Evil Umbrella Corps.
No, what? No. Like, I don't even think I've played that game.
It just came out this week. It's $30 and it's a competitive multiplayer game with zombies in it.
They need to make more games where you play as the zombie. Left 4 Dead nailed that. They didn't really nail it, but it was different.
They didn't really nail
They
it.
didn't really nail it. It was kind of crappy, but it was cool. It was different. Like you should have more games like that where you actually get to play as the zombie.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to play as a tank was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other one's not so much.
No.
The
Our
smokers with the tongues. Ugh.
our last question is from Megan. Do you think these devs focusing on different aspects of the zombie genre give games like Resident Evil or Days Gone a leg up on the others?
Yeah, I mean,
We
absolutely.
kinda already,
I think we just kind of said that. Where,
yeah, it's all about preference.
yeah, they all do them differently. I don't think you're gonna. I shouldn't say this because there are some zombie games that when you pick up they are very similar. Left 4 Dead and Dead Island were very similar to me. Dead Island is basically Left 4 Dead and Dead Rising combined. So you get games like that where it's like, man, and I liked Dead Island. I thought that game was cool where it had that. It didn't have that cartoony feel, but you could still do cool stuff with your weapons. Where you could make a katana that could electrocute.
Yeah.
And the story was kind of shitty. It was very shitty.
You know what game
But
I
it was
really
fun.
want now that you just reminded me of? It's not really a zombie game, but Dead Space. I want like a real Dead Space game, like 1 and 2, not like 3.
3 was bad.
Yeah.
1, so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, is that not like that's kind of like,
I
it's
mean,
like
they're
space zombies.
Yeah, they're like alien zombies. So
Like
I guess,
you know.
that makes sense.
The Necromorphs.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways to do those games.
Yeah.
And when you do them differently, and you have to,
Mhm.
there's no point in making it,
Yeah.
then yes, you're going to have a leg up on the others. But all the other ones do them differently too. So they all have an advantage.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And it just kind of depends on us what we want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
I'm not that big into Resident Evil.
I'm
I'm
not
just
either.
not. It's like survival horror isn't like really my favorite genre.
Mm-hmm.
I did like Dead Space, but that was a little bit, in my opinion, it was a little bit more action than, not a lot, but
Dead Space is a lot like what they try to do with Resident Evil 4. I feel like.
Dead Space was awesome. But like games like Alan Wake,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really into.
I wasn't
really
Alan
into
Wake
that. Outlast was scary as fuck, but if it wasn't, I still wasn't like, because that's survival horror.
Right.
Those just aren't my favorite games out there.
Right.
The Evil Within,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even beat it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not.
Those are zombies.
I'm not huge into Resident Evil either. Like I loved the remake on GameCube. That game was amazing. And then I played 4, and that was about it for Resident Evil. Like I don't really care about that franchise the way a lot of people do. But then again, I didn't have a PlayStation 1 to fall in love with that franchise either.
Right.
So,
There's that.
but then
There
again,
was-
I do.
There was no Resident Evil on the 64.
There was Resident Evil 2.
On the 64?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that cover. Wasn't there like an eye on it?
Yeah, and they had green blood instead of red because of Nintendo's restrictions.
I do remember that. I
Mhm.
don't think I was allowed to get it.
We were kids.
We were kids.
So.
But I did play GoldenEye and stuff. I was shooting people in the face anyways.
Yeah, I know. Remember when we were kids and my mom made us turn on paintball mode because she didn't want to
I remember.
want us shooting real guns.
We're still killing people.
Yeah, it's true.
Linda. DK mode. Still shooting you in the face.
Mm-hmm. Bigger face.
No odd job.
Nope.
But no. I mean, we could have this topic about so many other different types of games.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this episode. Do you have anything else you want to hit on before we get out of here? Play some games and do some stuff? All right. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. You can find all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com. Look for our new shows, Nerds Gone Rogue, the community podcast that we started doing. That's on YouTube. We're working on getting it on iTunes and SoundCloud soon. Cameron and I just restarted DNA Real Talk.
Okay.
So that's that's coming back. And you can find all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com and on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Digital Nerd Advocates Network. And until next week, we love you.
Peace.